Okay, ladies and gents, today I'm going to tell you a little story. I want to share with you a conversation that I had with a customer the other night because I feel like it carries a very important message to everybody. It's kind of all over the place in my brain right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all tell you what he said to me, and then I'll give you a little bit of the backstory of how we got to that point, and then I'll delve a little bit into the psychology behind the entire situation and tell you what I personally think about it. So, what he said to me was, you know, you're hot, but, you're not like supermodel or Instagram skinny hot, but you're still pretty cool. Uh, okay, thanks. Maybe. What was that, right? So we're going to rewind a little bit and figure out how we got here. So when I first sat down with him and his friend, they were both super nice. Okay, they're very welcoming, bought me drinks. They were actually nice the entire time up until that point. So the guy that I'm sitting with, I'm going to call him Joe. He started out the conversation by giving me the backstory of how he knew the guy that he was with. He said, yeah, so I'm a surgeon and his dad does whatever he said. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to the story. So I let him finish the story, and when he was done, I just smiled and I was like, "So what kind of surgeon are you?" And he said, uh, uh, well, I'm in ophthalmology. And I was like, okay, so eyes, right? You do eyes. He's like, oh, wow, well, you know what that is. I'm like, yeah, yes, I do. He said, okay, 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 I'm not a surgeon. What? Wait, I don't. So he straight up told me that nobody ever questions him when he says he's a surgeon. He only says it to impress people and to make it sound like he makes more money than he does. And that he stuttered because like he couldn't even believe that I questioned him. He said, "You knew I was lying and you didn't even say anything. You were just so cool about it." So we move on. We have a couple of drinks, talk about other things. He keeps trying to talk me into going back to his hotel with him. And that's not my deal. I don't do that. I'm trying to sell VIP, right? I'm not there for anything else. I'm just there to do my job and make some money. He says that he wants to take me out to dinner the next night. He's like, I want to buy you a $300 seafood dinner, as if it's the end all be all of my existence to have this really fancy dinner with this guy. Now, I should probably mention that he's a pretty good looking guy. He is tall, probably about 6'3", muscular, not like overly obsessed with fitness, but you can tell that he takes pride in his fitness routine. Actually, now that I think about it, at one point he asked me to squeeze his bicep and punch him in the abs. So that was a little weird. But anyways, blonde hair, blue eyes, nice facial structure. He's a good-looking guy, okay? And there were a couple of times that he like slid in the conversation casually that he can go into any bar and pick up a certain kind of girl, like a small, fit girl, young, whatever he said. I don't know the exact details, but I didn't really. I've kind of become impervious to when guys say stuff like that because I hear it all the time and I don't really care at all. I don't care. So then randomly he says, I can't believe I stuttered when I talked to you earlier and blah 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 whatever. He said I've only done that with 3 women in my entire life. And I dated 2 of them, and you're the third one. And I don't like how do you respond to that? Like, okay. Overall, he was pleasant to deal with. There was almost a disaster situation with another girl that I'm not going to get too terribly into, but basically she was an asshole and tried to take over the situation. And he told her to basically go away. I asked her to leave. He told her to go back and entertain his friend. And a little bit later, as they were trying to leave, he and I moved over to the bar. and he was about to tip me for my time. So while we're sitting at the bar, she came up behind him and she got in his ear and she said, "What are you doing wasting your time with her? All she does is lead guys on, and here, take my number." And he told me what she said while we're just sitting there. And I was like, "I don't even know this girl's name. So I don't know what to tell you. Whatever." And he said, "I just don't understand." He's like, "I'm over here begging you for your phone number, and she's over here throwing hers at me." He's like, "I'm trying to get you, and you won't let me." He said, "And that's why you make more money than her, isn't it?" And I never once said that I make more money than anybody. That's not my deal. I don't say things like that. That was his observation. Like, that was just him watching me, how I carried myself, and the way we were talking. He kind of, he knew what my deal was. And this was where he came in with the, "Oh, you're hot, but not as hot as I think you should be" comment. Now, let's dig into the psychology of this a little bit. As you may remember, he mentioned earlier that he can pick up a certain type of girl when he goes to a bar. He also mentioned that he tells people that he's a surgeon to impress them. And he also said that I make him nervous. So he's obviously a little bruised and confused by my not at all being fazed by his prowess and not playing his game. So, as a defense mechanism, he made an attempt to bring me down a couple of notches so that maybe if I got my feelings hurt, I would be like, "Oh man, maybe he's right. I'm not really all that. I'm super blessed to be in the presence of this Adonis, this God's gift to man, and he's totally right. And yes, I accept all of your offers." But that didn't happen. No. What ended up happening was he gave me the rest of the money in his pocket and he left. And I went and sat with a couple of my friends. And while we're sitting there, we watched him come back in, go to the bar, and get asshole girl's phone number, and then he left. And that was uh, that was just interesting to watch. And so while I'm sitting there with my girls, I told them what he had said to me and what had happened. And they were way more upset about it than I was. And so that kind of like really got me thinking. This is something that happens every single day. People say stuff to other people to try to make them feel less about themselves. Now, I'll be honest with you, if this had happened to me like, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, then I would have taken it super hard. I would have obsessed over it. I would have studied myself in the mirror and found every little thing about myself that I don't like. I would have I would have cried about it probably several times. I would have been really upset. But like that didn't happen 2 years ago. It happened now, and I'm in a pretty good place right now. I didn't even realize how good of a place until this whole thing happened. The truth is, I'm not supermodel skinny. I'm not the Instagram model type. I I'm just not. Like I have an hourglass shape ish. I have great tits. I have an ass that people think I paid for. Now, I could probably stand to do little crunches, but we're not going to talk about that because I don't care. It's not going to happen. I don't exercise, although I probably should. But people like me for who I am, and most importantly, I'm comfortable with myself. And I couldn't have the body type that I have and be the person that I am if I had another body type, obviously, and I couldn't be me if I was somebody else. And if I'm them, who are they going to be, and who's going to be me? And then it turns into this entire circle of who is who and why is this happening. I can't be everything to everyone. There's no point in even trying. I would drive myself crazy. You can't be everything to everyone. You would go crazy. It's not a thing. That doesn't happen. You can't do that. And the whole reason I'm making this video is because I know that there are so many of you out there who are obsessing over something that you're not. But what you're not is so completely irrelevant to your life. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what and who you are. Rock it, own it, love it. Love yourself so much that it makes the people who try to bring you down uneasy. Like, how ridiculous would it sound if somebody said to you, I mean, you're pretty awesome and all, but you're not a dinosaur. I mean, I really like dinosaurs, so that sounds ridiculous, right? It should be that way. It should sound that ridiculous every time a person compares another human being to another human being. Okay? You're not what you're not, and you are what you are. That's just how it is. And that's what makes life so great and so interesting is that every individual person has something different to offer and something different to contribute to life and to well-being and to everything. Also, you really need to understand that when somebody says something really shitty to you, that it has nothing to do with you at all. It is 100% their own inner turmoil that they're trying to work out. But they can't work it out, so they're trying to work it out on you. It's not your problem, it's their problem. Once you have that grasp, you will find so much peace within yourself. I don't think you even understand how peaceful it is to know that when somebody is yelling in your face about something ridiculous, that it's not you, it's them. I mean, unless you like, no, even if you did screw up, them acting in a shitty way is theirs. That's all them. Just like this guy, Joe. Like, he made a point to tell me that I'm not this or that because he was insecure about me not playing his game. And he wanted me to feel insecure too, to make himself feel a little better. Now, even though those may not have been his conscious thoughts, they were in there. They were in his subconscious. That was his reaction. That's how that works. And that is the reason why he said that to me. So, all in all, don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare someone else to another person. And most of all, do not ever let yourself get brought down just because of somebody else's skewed perception on what they think you should look like. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Carmen out.